It is the latest adaptation to Stephen King's famous novel and sort of a remake to the 1990 miniseries, which starred Tim Curry, and I am a huge fan of the original miniseries, by the way. And now, if you don't know the story of it, it's basically about these group of kids known as the Losers Club. They're a group of 7 kids, and they have problems in life, like they're being bullied by a guy named Henry Bowers and his group, in his gang. And they're also being attacked by this entity that shows up every 27 years, known as It, and it takes the form of a clown and kills its victims. And this in particular, a group known as the Losers Club are trying to hunt it down before it could strike again in the town of Maine. In Maine. Now, I am a huge fan of Stephen King. I love his work. I love his movies and stuff like that. I think he's a very talented writer. And I was really surprised to walk into this movie. I'm a huge fan of the original miniseries. And walking out of this movie, holy crap. This movie really surprised me. I did not expect this movie to be what it is. There's almost everything in this movie that I absolutely adore and love. Now, compared to the original, yes, it is much darker and much creepier than the original It, and it actually does have some laugh factors that I found pretty entertaining. I was really surprised on how the setup of this film was. It was so interesting and unique. Heck, I even found myself laughing at times and getting creeped out on some sort of scenes. And I was impressed on the look of this film. The setting in this film is absolutely astounding. The setting of Maine is just perfect. I love the setting. Even the setting of the house where the kids find out that's where It lives. It's very interesting, which I'm not going to spoil the name of the house. If you haven't seen the movie, definitely watch it if you want to know the name of the house. I think it's based off of the novel. And this is the thing that the miniseries couldn't do. It didn't explain anything about this in particular house that It lived in. Now, let me talk about the actors in this film. The kids, they are phenomenal in this movie. I loved every single actor in this movie. There were times where they made me laugh and times where they almost made me... All the kids are fantastic in this movie, but my favorite character in this movie has to be Eddie, who's played by Jack Dylan Grazer. He made me laugh at times, and his performance is really well done, including with the other kids. They're all just so likable characters, it's almost impossible for you to dislike a child in a horror movie, or in any movie in general. Another actor or actress that I found really fascinating was Sophia Lillis, who plays as Beverly in this movie. Now, compared to the 1990 miniseries, this movie actually has some backstory about Beverly's life. They talk about how she is in school, and these awful things that she does, these sexuality things, and then you realize that's not the kind of character she is. She's just a strong and independent girl that eventually joins in the Losers Club. And I think that's a very interesting backstory about her, something they couldn't do in the miniseries. And the characterization in this movie is so well done. Every single actor in this movie has their own part. And it blew me away. What happened in this movie, all the things that happened in this movie blew me away. The best parts of this movie were probably the kids. They all did a fantastic job. And it kind of reminded me of the original kids from the miniseries, but with more characterization build up into them. They really did a fantastic job in this film. And the best part about them is they basically unite in order to find out, like, their worst fears and stuff like that. They find out that these random people start going, like, missing and stuff like that every 27 years. And then they all start to experience the same thing. They start to see this clown. They start to end up seeing their worst nightmares. And they all try to work together to take down this clown. Which leads me up to the Pennywise in this movie. Now let me just tell you, Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, oh my gosh. When I walked out of the movie theater, I fell in love with his performance. I literally ran out of words. What else is there to say? He's a very scary Pennywise. And it actually worked for me. He definitely nailed it. Definitely. He put it on the spot. He was so terrifying, his first appearance even gave me the chills. But Bill Skarsgård plays as an awesome Pennywise, just like Tim Curry did. He's excellent as Pennywise. And I can't wait to see Bill in other movies. Now, to be honest, I hardly have any issues with this movie. I loved almost everything about this film, even though it was almost nothing what I expected it to be. And that's what I love about horror movies. You just walk into them and you don't really know what's gonna happen. I love how different it was compared to the 1990 miniseries. And that's not it. I hear they're making a chapter 2. And yes, I have to see that. I'm definitely gonna see it. Probably the most disturbing things that happened in this movie were the discoveries of the missing children. It was like mind-blowing. Because in the miniseries, they didn't show a lot of the missing children. In this, you just see you just have kids seeing horrific stuff. And you get scared to the bone. And I was gasping quite a lot in this movie. There were even some jump scares in this movie that were pretty stellar. This is definitely one of the greatest Stephen King adaptations I have ever seen. Okay, it's not the greatest, but I think it is one of the greatest. In my opinion, the greatest Stephen King adaptation is definitely The Shining. Nothing can beat that. But this one is just awesome. It's definitely up there in one of the greatest adaptations. And some people will look at this movie and be like, that movie was kind of bad. And I can see people saying that, but I actually had a blast with this film. The kids were fantastic. Bill Skarsgård is a terrifying and amazing Pennywise. The effects and the CGI were even pretty good in this movie too. And yes, there are some things in this movie that you will not expect to see. Like, if you haven't read the novel, you will not expect to see the things that are going on in this movie. Because if you have seen the miniseries, there are some things in this version that have never happened in the miniseries, that have never occurred in the original 1990 It. And you will be surprised. You will definitely be surprised on the things that are going on in this film. If you are a fan of the original 1990s miniseries. There were even some parts where there was even some parts in this film that got me like, I'm done. Like, some of the things that actually happen in this movie, it actually catches your attention. And the things are sometimes scary. I think this is definitely a horror movie that almost every horror movie fanatic should see. It's just so entertaining. It is so good. And I can't really compare it to the 1990s miniseries because I've always been a fan of that. But I don't know, it's just so great. And to me, it's gold. And it has to be one of my all-time favorite Stephen King adaptations. The kids are phenomenal in this film. Bill Skarsgård absolutely nailed it as Pennywise. The directing is great in this movie. The camera quality is fantastic. There's literally everything in this movie that caught my attention. And it did it perfectly. I was never really bored on the stuff that were happening. I was always entertained on something that happened in this film. Like when someone was getting attacked by the clown, or when the kids are working together to take it down. And I can't end this movie review without talking about Bill, who's played by Jaden Lieberher. Fantastic performance. I loved his character as well in this movie, as much as I loved all of the kids. Yes, he is the main character of this film, and he goes through problems, and you can understand and feel bad for him, and you can be like, okay, I get why he's upset, and he wants to take this thing down, because it killed his brother, Georgie, and the confidence that he brings to the Losers Club, that they have to take this thing down, no matter what, before it strikes again in a town in Maine. He doesn't care about summer break, he just wants to take this thing down. Before it kills or someone ends up missing. And during the end of the day, this movie made my day. It's definitely one of the greatest Stephen King adaptations in my opinion. And I still love the miniseries. It's also one of my all-time favorites. This one, I think I like this one just a tad better. Just a tad better than the miniseries. But this one, it's just a thrill ride, a haunted house thrill ride, and the kids are excellent in this movie. Bill Skarsgård, he really needs an Oscar for this movie. He really does, because He actually creeped me out in this film. And I'm speechless. This movie, it just blew me away. There's everything that I love about this movie. And if you're a horror movie fan, definitely check this out sometime. And if I were you, I would not wait till this movie comes out in DVD. Definitely go see this movie in theaters while it's still on the big screen. Because there's a lot of things that you can be entertained by. And I will promise you, if you are a fan of Stephen King, you will not be disappointed by this. I'm gonna give it an A+. Thank you so much for watching my movie review of It, guys. And just so you know, this is on Facebook. So I will upload this movie review on YouTube a week later. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be doing other movie reviews too. Rosemary's Baby, The People Under the Stairs, Lights Out, Candyman, etc., etc. And like I said, if you guys remember, I told you I was going to do a special horror movie review on Halloween. So you'll see what that is, and I'll just keep on continuing more horror movie reviews for you guys, and I can't wait. Thank you guys for watching me do a movie review of It. Tell me what you thought about the movie if you saw it. Comment down below and let me know, and just so you know, subscribe to my channel to join me for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching and showing me some support to my channel. I love every single one of you. Thank you guys always for tuning in. And as always, I am MarioFan520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.